Senran Kagura 7EVEN is being scrapped from the floor up due to the fear that the idea that they originally had for the game wouldn't actually make it onto the largest platform for their market, the PlayStation 4. So I think that we all know at this point, Sony has been very heavy-handed in forcing games to be censored before releasing onto their console, and this has affected many developers' decisions on really what goes into the game and what doesn't. Because of course you can't really risk losing your largest market, which in this case is Sony and the PlayStation 4. The president of Honey Games, Kenichiro Takaki, I hope that I'm saying that right, in an interview released with Inside Games about 7EVEN, said that this trend of regulations is not limited to PlayStation, but will spread around the world and to affect every platform and genre. And this has been true so far. I mean, he's just looking at the trends of how everything is working currently with regulations and content policy changes, and he's looking at PC, he's looking at Steam, he's looking at Sony, he's looking at Microsoft, I mean, he's looking at Nintendo, he's looking at all of the large platforms, and he is seeing this just like a lot of us have. I've talked about it before, and I know that a lot of you guys follow this stuff too, because so many of you guys talk to me about this stuff on a regular basis. It's sad to see so many platforms doing this, but it's true, and even though he said this, it's been true for a couple of years now. It's not just out of the blue that it's going to happen. The trend is just going to continue until every platform is affected by this in some way. I don't personally hope that, but that would be my assumption at this point, because we've seen it's happen so much now of content changes, even if the regulations that are changing that are affecting platforms and genres now, even if they're not large changes, small changes here and there eventually add up. The more something stacks, the more of an effect that you can tell from it. So he's definitely right there. And it's sad to talk about that, because I don't want this type of content regulation to affect every platform and genre. That's not what I want, and I know that's not what a lot of people want. But at the same time, a lot of people that are in the industry right now and really affect changes in the industry, unfortunately do want this. They want it to be a more politically correct and family-friendly environment, because they think that when it comes to that is what consumers want, and it's not what consumers want. Consumers want games to be games. When an ESRB puts the rating as M, you don't want to change it and downgrade it. That's not the point of regulations. That's not what you're there meant to do. And of course, there are alternative platforms. There are solutions, though, and that's moving to the PC and Switch. Takaki is pretty narrow-minded when it comes to this, though, unfortunately, and it has angered a lot of fans of the franchise, because he doesn't really see PC gaming as much of an asset as he should, and even though he thinks, or has said in other interviews, that the Switch is underpowered, it's still a way to get games to your fans. You can't be so narrow-minded if you're trying to sell a product to a market, because it might sell well on these platforms as it would on the PlayStation 4, but unfortunately now, you've insulted gamers of the other platforms, and now you'd rather scrap your whole game to have it on one platform? I don't understand the mentality behind that. You've put your hard work and effort and what you wanted into this game, and it wasn't done. He said clearly it wasn't done, but you've put all this time and effort. We don't know how much development time has gone into it, though. He didn't comment on that, so a lot of people, unfortunately, think that this is just kind of a rouse to say that they're restarting the process because they haven't actually been working on it. But more people would respect you if you did your best to get it on the other platforms and you didn't give in to this censorship. I don't know why he would give in to this censorship. I understand, unfortunately, though, that it's business, and I understand that only they really know the numbers of what sells and where their largest market is. But I'm pretty sure that your games would do just fine on the PlayStation, on the PC, my bad, and the Switch instead of the PC and the PlayStation. I just think that there's a market that he's not realizing when he says, PC gaming isn't as big as it could be, or that the Nintendo Switch is underpowered. I think that he's looking at it from more a way to defend the fact that he's defending PlayStation in this way. He says that the trend of these regulations is going to continue, but yet it's developers in people like him, unfortunately, that are making these companies feel like they can continue these regulations, because the only way to tell a company that you don't like their decisions is to talk with your wallet, and if you're a developer, talk with your game. When they tell you that these regulations are in place, you say, all right, I'm going to happily and respectfully decline. And that's not what he's doing. It's developers like this and studios like this, unfortunately, that really give in to these policy regulations. And this is why these companies feel like they can do these regulations, because unfortunately they know people are still going to put games on their platforms, and the only way to really speak is with your wallet, or the only way to speak is with your games, and just respectfully declining and walking away from the situation. But unfortunately, right now, 7EVEN, as far as we know, is being remade from the floor up due to Sony, or that is the excuse right now. You will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that they should just put the games on the PC and Switch instead of the PC and the PlayStation 4? Or do you think that, you'd rather it wait and deal with the content policies and it still be on the PlayStation 4? Unfortunately, it sounds like we're going to be waiting a very long time for 7EVEN, but I hope that he does another interview soon and really elaborates more on the fact that how long will, development take? How long until we see this game? What are your next steps? Are you really giving into the regulations? But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, and of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either which way. If you're enjoying my content, please check out the links in the description. I accept direct donations, but I also accept Patreon. You can become a Patreon for just $1 a month. It really helps support the channel, getting to my goals, helping fund the channel, but I'm not monetized by YouTube like a lot of you know. But I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys in the next video really soon.